What's going on, Dream Achiever? And welcome to another episode of Fountains Free Game Fridays. I'm your host, Vitrell Fountain. Listen, I'm so excited. I'm thrilled. I'm ecstatic to be in front of you today. It's a privilege for you to be with me today. And I'm so excited you tune in for me. And I'm so excited to get you through this Friday. And I want you to understand that today's topic is so very important. Let me just take you through it. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think about the tallest building you can imagine. I mean, whatever building it is. And, I was reading this article and it said that if you can take any good engineer and if he can look in the hole in the ground where they're about to build a building, if he just takes a look and sees how deep the hole is, the foundational hole, then he can tell you how tall the building is going to be. Now let's think about that for a moment. I was reading this and it said that this building, one of the tallest buildings in Canada, weighed over 13,000 tons. And it had said that the foundation weighed 7,000 tons. So that's meaning that more than half of the building's weight is underground. And they have to build a solid foundation. So what does that have to say? That, Vitrell, if I'm going to build a building, of course, I want to have a solid foundation. Vitrell, of course, if I'm going to build a house, I have to have a solid foundation. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to build a life, if you're going to build a life, then you have to have a solid foundation. If you're going to build that big building, if you're going to build that big house, yes, you have to have a solid foundation. But just like you have to have a solid foundation for that big building, you have to have a solid foundation for your big life. Now, don't let that go over your head. Yes, I'm talking about you. Yes, you can have that big life. Yes, you can have whatever you say you want. Yes, you can have that job, that kid, the spouse, the dream life, whatever you want in this life. Yes, you can have it. You can have that big life if you have a solid foundation. Now, I'll just tell you my foundation. Mine has to be God, right? I mean, because if you think about what a foundation does, it keeps you upright. It keeps you from swaying. It keeps you to weather the storm, right? And it's the same thing that he does for me. Yep, he keeps me upright. Yep, he weathers the storm with me. Yep, he keeps me from swaying. And so with him, I know I have something solid that I can depend on. If I'm in dire need, I know that if I go to him, it will be all right. And that's what your foundation does, because without it, you'll be gone. Through the storm, you can't make it. So you need to have a solid foundation, Dream Achiever, this year. Make sure you're building that big life, that dream life. Make sure you have a big enough foundation that you can lean on, that's going to keep you upright, that's going to keep you from swaying, that's going to keep you weathering the storm. So Dream Achiever, listen, I love it. I can't wait to see you next week. And remember, make the rest of your life the best of your life. I'll see you next week.